Today we're going to talk about your nursing intuition and third eye. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and here on Deep Mind Squared, we talk all things bridging mental wellness and spirituality for nurses. If you're new here, so glad to have you join in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you're notified about future video releases. And I want to really just encourage you to get involved in the conversation in the comments, share your thoughts and what your beliefs might be around the third eye. And I kind of come from this other perspective as well, like merging in the shamanic point of view. I believe that our society is so up here with our head that of course we would talk about this third eye or that place of the knowing of all things as being in the head. But what about if we were to bring it down to that place in the womb or that womb space where it's actually our center of gravity and we become more grounded and able to make better decisions. This is going to be a video that's really highlighting the importance as a nurse or anyone that might be in a place where they need to connect with a deeper understanding or a deeper knowing to support people and how that can really help impact you and your ability to provide care. So I'm sure you've heard of nurses' intuition. I always talk about this with the students and the importance of trusting that gut knowing. Sometimes you just get this inkling that there's something else here. And for myself, having worked in mental health and addictions for over 11 years, I have seen this happen time and time again. But I won't share every experience here. And I just really want to highlight to you the fact that we all have this intuitive knowing. It comes from within us. It's maybe this small, quiet voice that talks to us. It could be just this knowing, or you might see things. That happens as well. So just trust. These are all in relation to what they would call different psychic phenomena, the clairsentience, clairaudience, or the clairs. These are forms of knowing in different ways or different senses, this intuitive information. I get a lot of questions on how do we deepen this intuition? There's lots of different ways in which you can do that, and I'll probably share that in another video in more depth. But meditation and just really quieting, becoming still and listening to yourself, listening to that nothingness can really support you with deepening that connection. There's also great ways to balance the energy in that space, whether it's in that third eye, in the womb space, and that could be through energy work like Reiki, other forms of body work and the shamanic healing, sound therapies, all that good stuff. It's about us just releasing and letting go and allowing the energy to balance and to kind of recharge. It's this reminder for you to know that you are tuned in. No matter what's going on, there are little nudges that you're going to get through your practice that guide you to make certain decisions. And I know for myself, there have been times where it was life or death situations. And unfortunately, even in some of those, even though my intuition was something else needs to happen here, and I tried to make something shift in the physical world in terms of, supporting, in this particular case, one person, yet it fell on deaf ears and there was no ability because it was out of our jurisdiction at this point to do anything else. And unfortunately, I found out it ended in a very negative sort of consequence for this person. And I guess this is the reality of being a nurse, is people die. What I've learned with that is the fact that we can't carry the weight of different situations. All you can do is do the best you can. And if you get those intuitive hits, follow up on them. Don't doubt yourself. There is that voice or that energy that comes through very strongly, telling you to make that phone call or to do that check on that lab result or whatever the case might be. And that's how we catch these things. We can do this in our nursing career, and we can also do it in our personal lives. And what I found is they obviously balance with each other, and I'm able to really pick up on things going on for people I work with, for the patients, the clients, with anybody that's coming through the door, really. and also seeing where am I at and what types of things are coming up for me in my personal life that I need to intuitively connect with. So a bit of a background for you in terms of my sort of spiritual awakening. I'll share the link for that video here where I talk in more detail. What was happening is I basically had my third eye or my awareness just like completely blown open after a bizarre encounter with someone. And it left me feeling really ungrounded, super like all up everywhere and not really present for quite a few months. And it was a really challenging period in my life. We hear these conversations about opening the third eye and connecting, having the Kundalini energy rise, which is another form of that type of like awakening. And it can be all fun and great to think like, oh, I can have someone, touch me on my third eye here and like awaken these concepts. Awaken this understanding. But I just want to give a little pre-warning that sometimes that's not really the most helpful. And my own theory is that a lot of people who are struggling with mental health challenges, especially when we look at the bipolar diagnoses, those experiences of mania, that is something that's happening, but the person is left in an emergency. And that's where we get this term spiritual emergency, this state where they cannot be present, and the energy that's moving into that like third eye or whatever area it might be, it's just so overwhelming for them that they can't comprehend the information coming through. It's really important then that we're balancing this energy so that we can best support ourselves and support others. So again, reminding you that a great way to do this is to come into a place of quiet meditation, going out in nature, spending time where you just really kind of close out all the noise that's happening. And this is going to help you to connect deeper to what information needs to come. And I find too, really limiting any technology time can be really supportive because there's so many like energies coming from technology, literally like those like blue lights and all the things that are just constantly impacting our nervous system, that it can actually put us into more of an overwhelm and kind of jumble up the messages that are coming or trying to come through. And that encouragement as well for you to take your time when it comes to connecting to this third eye energy or to this intuitive energy, trusting that there is an opening happening, but that there's also maybe some past fears that need to be kind of cleared. For me, just recently even, I had this remembering of many years back, I was 13, having been traveling in Nigeria. So I'll just give a little pre-warning here. This is talking a bit about death and things like that. So maybe you want to skip ahead. This experience when I was 13, I was in Nigeria and I ended up seeing on the side of a road like a body that had just been left there. And this was very traumatizing for me, very traumatizing. Just wondering like, why would no one do anything? But this was just how they perceive life and death in that like cultural belief system. And for whatever reason, this person was just left. It impacted me so much that week we'd been traveling to one of my relatives and we were in their home. I couldn't sleep and I kept like seeing this being, this like dead person wandering around inside the house. I would see them on reflections on like the windows and like all this stuff that I was too scared to go to the bathroom. Oh my God. And it just hit me like literally just this past week. It's so like that far gone, okay, that I realized, whoa, I had a gift that I could see this being and that they were trying to communicate to me to like transition. And this goes into the shamanic work of like death walking and psychopomp work of helping or supporting souls with transitioning on. That was a huge realization for me. The fact that I've basically silenced some of my intuitive gifts, that intuition, that the clairvoyance, that like seeing of energies, because I was too scared to cope. I had no idea what it was or what to do. And this is part of our learning. So if there's times where maybe something's happened and you haven't listen to your intuition. Maybe you were more caught up on listening to what everyone else around you was saying or suggesting, because let's be honest, that's usually what happens, especially as like a newer nurse or someone, maybe if you don't have a lot of understanding and competence level at that point, and people are questioning your judgment anyway, then it's like super important to acknowledge that intuition inside, and that there are ways to strengthen that intuition so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and for the people in your care. Please, wherever you might be, do the work that you need to. Be aware that you do have that intuition, that you can open up the gifts that have been given to you since you came on this earth. And it just needs to be this slow process so that it can be gentle and loving, and you can release whatever fears maybe have come up for you in your life from the past experiences that you've had, and just learn to trust more and more in yourself. So let us know how this video resonates, and if there's any way that you feel you would like to dive deeper into this work, because it's definitely an exciting and rewarding path, I would say. That is pretty much all I wanted to talk about with you today. So I will catch you all in the next video. Take care.